Hi, guys, and welcome to the Team Fit Life Call. We have such a special and amazing speaker today. I'm so excited to have her. I want you to put yourself in the position of being 10 pounds overweight. Like, that's a lot of us. You're like, oh, I'm just 5 pounds away. I'm 10 pounds away from losing weight. And then I want you to just kind of think of those emotions and the things that are going on in your heart and your mind and all those feelings. Now, I want you to consider if you had over 160 pounds to lose. I'm sure some of you aren't even 160 pounds. Think of the thoughts and emotions and the feelings that go through your mind when you feel not only that much overweight, but when you feel as if you have no hope. And the truth is, we always have hope. There's no hopeless situation. There's just hopeless thinking. And the reason we're having Andrea today is, number one, she's a living, breathing testimony to hope, to consistency, to what we do, and proof that you can do it. She is one of the 8, actually only one of 4 of our Beachbody Challenge, finalists for this year. In case you're new to coaching, every year people submit their photos, and we have like winners each month. And these photos are amazing, before and afters. And then people win like $1,000 if they're the winner that month. And I mean, really, to win $1,000 for losing weight, like, that's pretty awesome when you're already, getting money from, losing weight. Like, that's kind of one of the best things in the whole world. But what's interesting is that not only has she won that amount of money, she's now going to be standing on stage in New Orleans at Summit, the final night, one of 4 ladies. So she has a 1 in 4 chance, by the way, of getting this. And she's going to win possibly $250,000. $250,000 for freaking losing weight. Like, isn't that just amazing? She's here to tell us a little bit about her journey. She's a mom. She has lost 165 pounds. And I cannot be happier to have her here. And I want you to know that you have the ability to vote for the person that you feel the closest to, that you want to see win. And I think they're all winners. But there's something about Andrea's story that strikes a chord with me, and I don't know what that is. And I'm like welling up like right now thinking about it, because I know what it's like to be overweight, and I know that some of you do, and you just don't like life, and you have some really scary thoughts. And she's living proof that you can come out of that. And I'm going to turn it over to her. She's going to talk to us a little bit about her journey, what she's gone through, what she's doing now. And I pray that you share this with someone, because it's going to be pretty amazing. Andrea, take it away.
Okay, hi guys. So for those of you who don't know me, I have been on a health and fitness journey with Beachbody for the past 2.5 years. I started my journey with Beachbody in December 15th of 2014. So I was very much that person before Christmas time that decided she needed to make a health change. How I actually got started with Beachbody is I had been following my coach, Crystal, for a few years on Facebook. She had a blog, and I had been following it for inspiration because I was going through a very dark time in my life, and I had a very dark past. She always filled me with inspiration and hope just following her. And one day she posted about these Black Friday sales, and she was always this person that she shared passionately about Turbo Fire and Shakeology. And I remember when she posted the Black Friday sales, they had Turbo Fire on there, and I'm like, yes, I'm gonna get Turbo Fire. So I tried to get Turbo Fire, and it ended up being sold out. So I begged my mom to get me Les Mills Combat at the time, and she ended up getting me Les Mills Combat for Christmas. I told her, I said, I don't want anything else, just get me Les Mills Combat. But 2 months prior to that, I had reached an all-time high with my weight. I gave birth to my daughter in September of 2014, 3 months before I committed to my journey, and I weighed 375 pounds when I had her. I actually gained 125 pounds through that pregnancy. When I got pregnant with her, my thyroid quit working. About 6 months in, they figured they'd started running tests, and I had already gained almost 70 pounds at that point, and I still had at least 4 more months left to go in my pregnancy. So my weight had reached an all-time high, and I was struggling physically. Up until that point in my fitness journey, I had struggled mentally and emotionally with things from my past. My dad was an alcoholic. He was a drinker. He was abusive when I was a child. I had an abusive babysitter. My friend killed himself. So, I had all of these crazy things that I went through from the age of 5 up until this point. So I really had a war with myself mentally and emotionally, and I was using food as the coping treatment center to deal with all of that crap from my past. So here I was at an all-time high with my weight. I was mentally and emotionally a train wreck. And now I was physically a train wreck. I couldn't tie my own shoes. When I've been a nursing assistant since I was 16 years old, I couldn't even bend over to put shoes on my patients' feet. I couldn't fit between their beds and the closets because the area was too small. I couldn't get into my own car. I had to upgrade my car because my stomach had gotten so big that I could not fit behind the steering wheel of my car. I used to have to take breaks going up and down the steps because it was just too exhausting. And once I knew I needed to do something to change my life, but I wasn't fully ready until my son asked me one question that changed everything for me forever. We take him to Hershey Park every year for his birthday. His birthday's in December. And he asked me on our way home, he said, "Mommy, how come you never get on the rides with me, but Daddy does?" And I thought about that question for a minute, and I was trying to answer it to him in a way that he could understand that I was too big. And something clicked within inside of me, and I thought, wait a minute, you're missing moments with your children, the only moments you're ever going to get for the rest of your life. So when we got home, I said, "Kyle, you remember that question you asked Mommy?" He said, "Yeah, about the rides." I said, "Yeah, I'm sorry Mommy never got on rides with you. Mommy never had a really good reason why, but I promise next year I'll get on the rides with you when we take you." That night, I was thinking I went and said to my mom, "I know you got me the Les Mills Combat for Christmas, but I need you to give it to me right now." And she said, "Really?" She said, "Well, then I'm not going to have anything to give you at Christmas." I said, "I don't care. I need the program right now." So the next day, I went to go stand on the scale in the bathroom. Now, I already knew that my weight was at an all-time high, but up until that day, I never really faced the emotions that got me to that point. So when I stood on the scale, I had a nervous breakdown in that bathroom. I screamed at myself in the mirror, and I went to the kitchen and the garage, and I grabbed a knife and an extension cord because I didn't know what I was going to use to end my life with. I felt so helpless and hopeless in that moment, in that bathroom. Everything that I ever failed at, all of the times I tried to go through college and failed, all of the crap that I've been through, almost being homeless 2 years before that, all I told myself in that bathroom was, "You have lived nothing but an impossible life, and you've never achieved anything. There's no way you're going to be able to lose 200 pounds, Andrea. There's no way. There's no hope." And I was telling myself false truths. And my newborn daughter at the time, cried. And it that saved me. In that moment when she cried, I dropped the knife that I was holding. And I said out loud to myself, just fight and try. And I walked and pushed play. I don't remember that first half hour. At the end of that workout, my socks were soaked in blood because for the first 6 months of my journey, I had pre-diabetic feet that had deep heel fissures from the undiagnosed. I'm sure I was pre-diabetic. And when I would work out, it would break open these heel fissures and they would not heal. And I didn't care that my socks were soaked in blood. I didn't care that I couldn't do a roundhouse kick. I didn't care that I could barely lift my leg up. At the end of that 30 minutes while I was working out, all I was doing was punching and kicking and fighting every thought inside of me that told me all of the negative crap in that bathroom. And I wanted to feel like that for the rest of my life. I didn't want to spend another day feeling powerless. So I at this point, I wasn't a coach with Beachbody. I was just somebody that purchased a program from the Black Friday sale, but Crystal never stopped checking in on me. I wasn't in a challenge group at the time, but she would personally check in on me, and she checked in on me and said, "Hey, how are you doing?" And I said, "Well, I'm doing good." I said, "But I'm getting kind of bored with, and this program's a little bit harder for me to do." So at the time, Insanity Max 30 came out. So I bought my first challenge pack with Insanity Max 30. I don't know what in the hell I was thinking, because I also have degenerative disc disease. L2 and L5 in my back are completely in stage 3 degeneration. So I started doing Insanity Max 30, and I said to Crystal after 3 weeks of me doing it, I said, "I can't do this shit." I said, "It's flaring my back up, and I am like all over the place." I said, "There has to be something else." She said, "Why don't we try 21 Day Fix?" So once I signed up, I ended up signing up as a discount coach with 21 Day Fix. I had no intentions of ever being more than just a discount coach because I wanted to save money on my Shakeology every month. So I ended up getting 21 Day Fix, and I did, at that point, I had ended up doing, I think for my first year of my fitness journey, it was like 9 rounds of 21 Day Fix. Up until February to August, I did round after round after round after round of 21 Day Fix. And in between that time, a lot of crap came up that my daughter almost needed surgery. They thought they had missed Hirschsprung's disease in her, and they told me that they were going to have to go in to do emergency surgery. So I was taking her back and forth to CHOP specialty appointments almost every other week. I was having to give her baby suppositories. She was only 6 months old, and here was my newborn suffering. And that wasn't bad enough. In between that time, my mother-in-law got hospitalized, and they told me that, and she's still very bad off, she was at end stage CHF, and her heart was completely failing. When she was in the hospital, we found out that she was a hoarder. So in the middle of summer, in the middle of this giant fitness journey, here I am taking care of my sick mother-in-law, doing a full-scale house renovation so she could return to her house from rehab. And she's a damn hoarder. They're not fun to clean up after. So I was very much the crazy person outside streaming Beachbody on demand from my phone, propping it up on dumpsters to do my 21 Day Fix workouts, bringing my weights with me, packing my food with me because she lived in the middle of nowhere and the only means for food was fast food or delivery, and I wasn't going to entertain that. So then life really tested me about 9 months into my journey. My mom had a headache, and I made her go to the hospital. My mom is very, very, very stubborn. and she told me that she was losing her hearing and sight. And I'm like, something's not right here. You have to go to the hospital. So she went to the hospital, and at 3 o'clock in the morning, she calls me to tell me they are sending her off to emergency surgery for a massive brain tumor. I dropped the phone, I screamed, and I lost a week of my life. My life stopped that week. If there was at any point in my fitness or coaching life that I wanted to give up, it was then, because I wanted to focus 110% on my mom. And the stress that I was going through, you know, I had no idea if my mom was going to come out of that surgery alive or not. I had no idea what was going to happen. You know, here we were a year and a half prior to that, and I was packing my belongings to move into a homeless shelter with my family. And now I'm living with my mom until we can get on our feet, and they're wheeling her off to surgery, and I don't know if she's going to make it or not. If it was one point in my journey that I wanted to lean on my my decade-long binge eating disorder and bulimia, because that's what I had always coped with, it was then. And I ended up relapsing with my bulimia then, and that's when I ended up getting counseling. I reached out to Crystal and I said, I'm at an all-time low with my eating disorder. I haven't been this bad since I've been a teenager. And Crystal said to me, I'm not a professional, but I'm going to suggest that you definitely need some help. And I went and got help. Now, I had tried to get help before, but I think combined with all the personal development, the fact that I had this team and this great community to lean on, my heart and my head was able to open up to that help in a way that I never was able to receive it before. So after that, we ended up getting good news that it ended up being the one tumor, that it was a meningioma. So meningioma tumors are known for being benign, and it ended up being benign, and she ended up coming out of that. And, you know, then I went on to do Ultimate Reset, because what also was happening through this crazy year journey is I was fighting with my hypothyroidism. I had hypothyroidism, and I got to a point where I was pushing play, never missing a workout, eating flawlessly, and I was gaining weight. And my levels kept kind of going awry, and they couldn't figure out what was going on. So I always commit to doing something hard in December, since that's when I committed to my fitness journey. And I thought, what am I going to do hard that's going to really challenge me? And I decided to commit to Ultimate Reset and do it through Christmas. And on my last day of Ultimate Reset was actually the day after Christmas. And the result of that experience probably changed the whole course of my journey, because I forced myself to do something really freaking hard through a really tempting time. And it set me up to start my new year in a way mentally and emotionally strong that, you know, allowed me to achieve these latter goals that I had built in for myself, and for me to grow to the point of success that I'm at now. And I ended up finding all of my emotional, you know, attachments to food. I ended up finding out that certain foods were flaring up, causing my body to inflame. So after that, I actually asked Crystal and the market council for Philly Fusion. I ended up honoring that promise to get on that ride with my son. I lost the 100 pounds, the first 100 pounds in the year, like I had said I would do. And then I really started dreaming big about my life. I thought, well, I just did something really impossible I didn't think I was going to be able to do through a really impossible time. What is next? So I made a motivation board. Some people have a vision board. I have a physical motivation board, and I filled that with things that I wanted to achieve in my fitness victories. Doing an Ironman one day. I want to compete in Kona Ironman. I want to qualify in the Boston Marathon. I wanted to get my Spartan trifecta. I want to go zip lining. And then I had on their Broad Street run. And then I put on their Beachbody Classic and Beachbody Challenge. I put things on that board that I didn't believe at the time I would achieve. And I put them there purposely as an opportunity to blow my own damn mind. That if I achieved them, that my life I would break all the chains of disbelief that I ever had in myself. And I will tell you that I am on track to achieve almost everything on that board by the end of this year, minus 3 things. So I ended up submitting my results to the Beachbody Challenge in August. I was petrified to submit my results because submitting my results meant that I would have to tell my story to the world. And up until that point, I was really ashamed of my past, and I was ashamed, and I didn't want to relive those memories again. But I knew that finally somebody had said to me he's on the market council for Philly Fusion. He said to me, you are being really selfish. I said, well, how dare you call me selfish? I am the most selfless person in the entire world. I gave somebody the shirt off my back at a Super Saturday, and you're calling me selfish. He said, you're being selfish because you're holding all of the inspiration and all of the hardship that you overcame. You're holding that all to yourself and not sharing it with the world. Imagine that there is somebody out there that used to be you, and you have the hope to give them, and you're holding it all to yourself. And I thought to him, you know what? I'm not. That's when I realized that my journey as a coach, because up until that point, I was never motivated by Success Club. I was never motivated by money. I was never motivated by any of the glitz and glam that came with being a coach. I just wanted to be a discount coach and get a fitness change. But when he said that, and then my son said a few things, I finally realized this is about me asking people to take a hard journey with me, and me getting a chance to change their life the way that I did. And I would be selfish to hold on to all of them tools to myself and not give anybody else a chance to change. And I will be honest, I'm still petrified. I'm not confident in myself as a leader, but I'm confident in what I have overcome. I'm confident in what I have experienced and the knowledge and the wisdom that I gained from that. So even if I don't end up not being a big time coach, I can be big time to somebody in their life and make an impact that way. And that's what drives me. And after I submitted my results, I ended up winning the monthly challenge with Beachbody. So I won $1,000 from that. And then after that, I went through a quarterly vote. I ended up winning the quarterly vote, so I won $5,000 from that. And then they ended up flying me and Crystal out to Beachbody headquarters so they could film and tell my story. They pampered us. So I had makeup and hair, and they dressed me and dolled me up, and then they ended up paying for us to go to Disneyland. We could pick wherever we wanted to go, by the way. So we ended up going to Disneyland for the day. And then I came home, and I got this email in May saying, since I was a monthly winner, that all I had to do was submit my updated results. And at this point, which was good, was a godsend to this, I had started doing Beachbody Classic, prepping for Beachbody Classic, because I looked up at my goal board, and I thought, I'm going to Summit this year, and there might be a possibility that I might be a finalist. How cool would it be if I achieved doing Beachbody Classic and my Beachbody Challenge goal in the same year? So I forced myself into prepping for Beachbody Classic. And up until that point, that allowed me to have these more incredible results than I had already given them prior when I was selected as a winner. So, and then I ended up finding out that out of all of the people that submitted their entries, I was one of the final 4. It's just crazy because there's probably, what is there, like 400,000 Beachbody coaches? I can't even keep track of the. So there's probably, because I always tell people, submit your results to get the free t-shirt, and that's like a bragging rights shirt. Like when I'm out in public and I see certain shirts, I'm like, oh, you did that program and you submitted the Beachbody Challenge because you got the free shirt. So I always tell people, get the free shirt. It's free. You can't buy it. It's a bragging rights shirt. So, you know, when I initially submitted my results, like, yes, I wanted to have this. It would have been great if I would go all the way with it, but it was just for me to get the damn shirt. In all reality, I would have been okay with that. But I was scared. And even, you know, going into this, so last week was actually they traditionally in the past, they do 2 weeks to vote. So they actually ended voting on Monday. So now I have to wait for another 4 weeks to find out if I have won this whole thing or not. But I will tell you that I have went from somebody that never used to talk to anybody. I never talked to anybody. I didn't leave my house. I lived in sweatpants and baggy t-shirts. And now you cannot put me in enough clothing. I love to shop. I never shut the hell up. I love meeting new people. I love going to events. You know, but how I got here is I forced myself into the things that scared the crap out of me. The things that I did. The first time I went live on Facebook, I was scared. I was shaking. And I think if you look at my first live video, you can definitely tell. But after I started forcing myself to do these really scary things, I started getting better and better and better at them. So then I realized that this journey is all about throwing yourself into an intentional fear fire and allowing that fear and that failure and those hiccups and those oops, I didn't say this, or oops, I said too much of that, or oops, you know, maybe I scared that person away, or oops, maybe I overtalked here. Those are all things for you to be able to grow exponentially as a person. And that in itself, just facing all of my fears, has allowed me to get here to this point. And, you know, I don't regret anything. I don't regret all of the cookouts that I went to and said, I'm not going to gorge myself, but maybe I'll have 1 or 2 splurges. I don't regret the food I missed out on. I don't regret going through the holidays and missing those 4 holiday parties and not being able to celebrate with them in food, because in those moments I was able to learn how to celebrate life without food and celebrate life within the moments. And the result now is at the end of my journey, now that I'm at my goal weight, I have my mind, and I have a transformed mind and inside that's so rock solid strong that maintaining results, it's not going to be about up and down for me, because I've found that chi within my own self. So I want to give you guys a chance to ask any questions if you might have any for me.
Hey, well, I would just first like to go, oh my gosh, by the way, Andrew, you're so good. Like, you're speaking, if you were a bad speaker at one point, you would never know. Your speaking has come, oh my gosh, it's so good. And you're so relatable. And I'm sorry, that's just what it takes in order for people to listen to you. And honestly, the people that set out to be awesome coaches usually don't do it. It's the people that set out to just talk to as many people as possible about their struggles and how they got through it and how they can do it too. And that it's only through the fire that we are refined. And what that essentially means, it's only through the junk and the crap that we get better. I mean, if we get through it and not be like, well, poor me, we get through it. And whatever that guy coach was that said you were being selfish, I'm sorry, I freaking love him. He's probably my brother, because a lot of people have these amazing stories and they're just selfish in the sense of scared to share it because they wonder what people think about them. But there's this whole group of people that needs exactly your kind of, weird or your kind of whatever. They just need you. So I am so thankful for you to be on this call. I just have to say that. Now, real quickly, Sam, because she was our big connection to getting you in. Sam's awesome and just amazing.
I know. I love Sam.
Oh my gosh, so adorable. I know. So
she's one of my business inspirations because she was able to retire out of nursing. And I'm like, that's going to be me, damn it.
And then that will be you. I promise you, if it's about people and just helping them get wherever it is, that's going to be you. It's going to be awesome. So she's going to kind of manage the rest of this call because, she was part of this. And so just, you guys, think of your questions. Remember, smart people ask questions. I mean, I keep trying to put myself in your position. And by the way, so many of those things hit home with me. The last thing that hit home was when you said, I learned how to celebrate and experience those things without food. And I'm right now on I think it's technically day 16 of the reset. And if I can just share with you real quickly, my best friend, my sister, died in October unexpectedly. And my life was like, and then my husband's mother died. And then he had to go back for cancer treatment. So the reason I want to bring that up to you, and I want everyone to hear this, whether you're watching this now or later, is that all the time I get, emails saying, I would love to work the business, but I can't because of blank. And I so bad want to go, I have had the worst year of my life. And by the way, my husband's back on, and go through all the tit for tat. And I don't want to ever be offensive to someone else, but you can do this no matter what crap is going on in your life. It's almost like, I told this to Amy last week. I said, it's almost like it's easier to work this business when you're fighting against something than work this business as you're reaching for something. Yeah, I've got goals, but you know what I'm fighting against? Not being that overweight girl again, not letting my family down, supporting my husband. I am not going to let all the horrible things of this life define me. I'm going to use it for fuel, just like you did, Andrea. So, oh my gosh, thank you so much. I'm going to pass this on to Sam now. You guys ask questions and think about the things that she's gone through that your coaches and your customers have said, I can't because of this. Her daughter was sick. Her mom had a brain tumor. For the love of Pete. She could have easily said, sorry, no, but she didn't. Andrea, I'm so thankful for you. Be looking for something soon to come to you from us as just a little thing of gratitude. And I hope I get to see you at Summit. We're going to be rooting for you. I am going to vote for you. Lee's going to vote for you. And I'm just so thankful for you. Okay. Thank you. All right, Sam, take it away.
All right, guys. Well, first of all, how amazing is Andrea? And I have to say, her coach is my success partner, and I basically feel like I've been on this journey. Me and Crystal have been success partners for 2 years. So that's a big chunk of your journey. So the woman that's sitting in front of me today, looking super cute and everything, all tan and everything, this is not the woman that I met 2 years ago. So Andrea is a great one to talk to about the struggles along the way. It was not an uphill battle. And I know she's talked to us too. There's days that she still struggles. Those demons are always there. So she's a great one, guys. If you have any questions, please unmute yourself. She's a great one to talk to. And the only thing I do have to say is everything Andrea does, she does 100%. I'm on the market council, with everybody. And when we have our live workouts at the end, we're all exhausted from Super Saturdays, 4 hours. You will see Andrea working out harder than anybody in that room. She is in focus in her head. That's an opportunity for her to get her workout in. How many of us, I'm one that's I'm gonna have to work out when I get home because I'm not gonna get a great workout. This girl is sweating bullets by the end, hugging people and everything. And that's how she literally has done everything in her life. She just completely dedicates herself to it, and it wasn't easy, and I know it wasn't. So anyway, I just have to say, I'm just so proud of you for watching you throughout this whole journey. fight those struggles, fight those battles, those demons that are always there, but you have overcome that and you keep setting goals. So if I'm your inspiration for this business, you are my inspiration, like, for life, girl. So
I was back off of one thing that you said, because that's a common thing that everybody keeps saying. They say to me, well, I can't do what she did, and I can't work out as hard as she did. And there's people that are actually intimidated by me because they see like the power that I emanate as far as, but the reason why I pushed myself the way that I do is because I set out to make myself the example a long time ago. Even when I work my double shifts and I come home and I'm like, I just worked 16 hours. I had people fall, people go out to the hospital. I'm tired. I'm mentally exhausted. I force myself in those moments that I feel like quitting and not giving up to show up even harder than I would have, because I want to show the world, my challengers. You know, you ever hear that the term, the pack moves at the speed of the leader? So I want to be that leader that says, my life sucks, everything is terrible, but I'm going to show up, and I'm going to show up and give my best fight in these 30 minutes, because in those 30 minutes, everything else that's going on around me stops, and it's all about what I'm doing for myself and giving myself in those 30 minutes. And I don't let the outside world get into my head and heart in those 30 minutes and be, you know, what drives me to stop. And, you know, as far as like one other thing I wanted to piggyback off of what Mindy said is, I always share this as an example. I shared this with one of my coaches, Tony, as I said, you know, when you begin to treat your health and fitness in your business as your job to take care of yourself, you take care of yourself more seriously. Think about it. When you get up every day and you get in your car, you're not going to sit there and say, well, I hope my car turns itself on and drives me to work. You have to actually put in the effort to move the car down the street and steer it. You have to be the one driving it. You have to be the one deciding the direction of where your car goes. But what happens when obstacles come up along the way? You're not going to say, well, you know what? There's a lot of traffic. There's a detour in the road. The roads are flooded. I'm just going to park my car and I'm going to give up here and I'm not going to get to work. No, you're going to find the alternate route at whatever expense possible to get to work, because in order for you to achieve getting your paycheck and not getting fired, you have to get to work no matter what. So when you begin to treat your business and your fitness as it is your job and becomes your no matter what I have to do, then everybody that follows you for inspiration, they will begin to emulate that no matter what at mentality. So I just wanted to share that tidbit.
Amen. I feel like I just went to church. Right? All right, guys. I know that it's been, you know, everybody's probably on their lunch break and stuff. So any questions before we wrap up? And I'm sure, like, Andrea, I'm probably putting you out there, but, like, she's an awesome one to private message if there's something that you want to talk to her about, too.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Well, thank you guys for being on the call. Andrea, you rock my world. We're going to be neighbors soon. I can't wait.
Oh, I know. I'll be right across from the farmer's market. You know how excited I am for that? And I'm actually going to be purchasing a space inside the farmer's market, and I'm going to get Quarters 4 certified, and I'm going to run live classes right from the farmer's market and one of those.
Oh my gosh, girl, I'm there. I'm coming.
I seen it in the Quaker Towns and Dead Zone. We got gray area up there to capitalize on, Sam.
Girl, this is my territory. I'm just kidding. Oh, it'll be fun. All right, guys. Thank you so much. It's been awesome. Thank you, Mindy, Andrea, everybody. Have a wonderful day.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, guys.